Amanda Peterson's death in 2015 seemed like another Hollywood overdose story. But her family knew something didn't add up. She had been clean. She was trying to rebuild her life. Then they found her journals and letters she never sent. The truth about what destroyed Amanda Peterson wasn't what anyone expected. It started in 1986, when she was just 15 years old. A secret so painful, she carried it for 29 years. When her mother finally spoke out, she revealed what really happened to the girl who had everything and lost it all. Amanda Peterson was born on July 8, 1971, in Greeley, Colorado. She was the youngest of 3 kids in a family that was already impressive. Her dad, Dr. James Peterson, was a doctor who worked with ears, noses, and throats. Her mom, Sylvia, stayed at home to raise the children and took care of Amanda's early interests. From the very beginning, Amanda stood out. When she was just 7 years old, she got on stage for the first time. She played Gretel von Trapp in The Sound of Music at the University of Northern Colorado. It wasn't just cute, it was serious. That one performance led to more, and soon she was being noticed by casting agents. Her older brother, James Jr., and her sister, Anne Marie, watched their little sister go from a regular small-town girl to someone who clearly had something special. By the time Amanda turned 11, she was already part of a big Hollywood film. In 1982, she appeared in Annie as one of the dancing extras. But what many people don't know is that she almost got the lead role. She was one of the final 10 girls out of over 8,000 who auditioned. She didn't get it, but just being that close at such a young age was a huge deal. And that was only the start. Between the ages of 11 and 14, Amanda was everywhere. She appeared in over 50 TV commercials. People started to recognize her face, even if they didn't know her name yet. She also had guest roles in TV shows like Father Murphy and Silver Spoons, learning how to act on professional sets with experienced stars. In 1983, Amanda got a co-starring role in a show called Boone on NBC. She played Squirt Sawyer, and even though the show didn't last long, it was canceled after just 13 episodes, Amanda still made a big impression. She was only 12 years old, but she was already sharing the screen with adult actors and handling real drama. Her performance was so strong that she earned 2 Young Artist Award nominations in back-to-back years. Things moved fast from there. In 1985, Amanda got her first major movie role. She played Laurie Swenson in a sci-fi adventure called Explorers. What's wild is that the 2 boys she starred with, Ethan Hawke and River Phoenix, were both brand new to movies too. The director, Joe Dante, had a big vision for the film, and the special effects were done by the same people who worked on Star Wars. Amanda was just 14, acting in a big-budget movie, and she handled it like a pro. The film didn't do well at the box office because it was rushed and ended up getting released right before the huge Live Aid concert in July 1985. But later, people discovered the movie on VHS, and it became a cult favorite. The very next year, Amanda's biggest TV role came along. In 1986, she played Sunny Sisk in a powerful miniseries called A Year in the Life. It was a huge hit, becoming the 3rd most-watched miniseries in the entire country that year. Her performance stood out so much that NBC turned the miniseries into a full TV show. It ran from 1987 to 1988, and Amanda stayed on as Sunny. She was still a teenager, but her acting had matured. She showed real emotional depth as the granddaughter of a wealthy but troubled family. She even won the Young Artist Award in 1987 for that role, beating other young stars like Shannon Doherty and Kimberly McCullough. While most young actors were struggling to find steady work, Amanda was everywhere. She kept popping up in TV movies like Best Kept Secrets in 1984 and The Children Shall Lead in 1985, she had already built a full resume before even turning 16. That kind of consistent work was rare, especially for young actresses at that time. Casting directors clearly saw something in her, something unique and strong. By the time she was 20, Amanda had already been in more than 50 commercials, 4 TV series, 5 made-for-TV movies, 1 Emmy-winning miniseries, and 5 full-length films. Her ability to move between television and film so easily was rare, and her early work didn't just help her, it helped shape teen films in the 1980s. Her role in Explorers might not have made her a star overnight, but it became one of those films that people looked back on and realized just how talented she was. And the fact that she worked with actors like Ethan Hawke and River Phoenix, who would go on to become major stars, made it even more important. Amanda Peterson was just 15 years old in 1987 when something unbelievable happened. She was picked out of more than 200 girls to play Cindy Mancini in a teen movie that would change her life forever. The movie was originally called Boy Rents Girl, and even famous actresses like Molly Ringwald were considered for the role. But Amanda stood out. She had a natural connection with Patrick Dempsey during their screen test. The producers said her honest, playful responses made her feel like a real teenager, not someone acting like one. Back then, she was still being credited as Amanda Peterson and had only been in a few shows and the 1985 movie Explorers. But after they got the rights to use the Beatles' 1964 song Can't Buy Me Love, everything changed. That song became the new title, and Amanda became part of one of the most loved teen movies of the 1980s. Filming the movie in Tucson, Arizona wasn't easy for her. Amanda had to learn real cheerleading routines to play Cindy the right way. The cast shot scenes all around the city, from Tucson Mall to Tucson High School, and even the airplane graveyard at Pima Air Museum. The famous lawnmower kissing scene looks fun on screen, but behind the scenes, it was stressful. It took 15 takes because Amanda's outfit kept getting messed up. Even Cindy's house in the movie wasn't a real home. It was a fancy clubhouse in the Hill Farm neighborhood designed by a well-known architect. Amanda spent weeks working with actual high school cheerleaders just to make sure everything she did looked real. She didn't take shortcuts. She wanted everything to feel true. When the movie came out on August 14, 1987, no one expected it to do well. It only cost $1.5 million to make, but it made over $31 million. Amanda was invited to The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and he looked right at her and said she was going to be the next big thing. He wasn't wrong. Just a few weeks after the movie's release, Amanda was all over magazine covers and getting offers from big studios. The New York Times said she was incredibly likable and praised how natural she and Patrick Dempsey were together on screen. For a film that started off so small, it had one of the biggest profits of any teen movie in that decade. Amanda went from unknown to famous in just a few months, but not everything was perfect behind the scenes. Amanda sometimes struggled during filming because Patrick Dempsey liked to stay in character all the time. He was 21 years old, and he used a method acting style that made things awkward. He would surprise Amanda with lines that weren't in the script, and it made emotional scenes harder for her. It was especially difficult during romantic scenes when she didn't know what he'd say or do next. Amanda once said it took her a while to adjust, but in the end, his dedication made their chemistry stronger. After filming ended, they got along much better and always spoke kindly about each other in later interviews. In 1988, Amanda took a totally different kind of role. She played Diana in The Lawless Land, a post-apocalyptic sci-fi movie where love was forbidden. Her character was the daughter of a rich and powerful man, and she ran away with someone from the lower class. Her father sent a killer named Roadkill to stop them. The film was wild and gritty, a big change from romantic comedies. While it didn't become a hit, it showed Amanda could play serious and edgy roles too. Then, in 1989, she joined the movie Listen to Me, acting alongside Kirk Cameron and Jamie Gertz. Amanda played Donna Loomis, a college student in a debate team made up of students from poor backgrounds. They earned scholarships and ended up debating abortion in front of the Supreme Court. It was released on May 5, 1989, and filmed in Malibu, especially at Pepperdine University. It made a little over $4.2 million. Amanda wasn't the lead this time, but she still played an important role. It was another sign that she was trying new things and wasn't afraid of serious topics. In 1990, she appeared in an episode of Doogie Howser, MD, as Bernadette Callan in Vinnie's Blind Date. Then in 1991, she acted in the TV movie Hell Hath No Fury, also known as Throwaway Wives. That same year, she was in Posing, inspired by 3 real stories, where she played Abigail Baywood in a drama about women who posed for Playboy. These were all emotional, more mature roles, far from the bubbly teen image people first knew her for. Even though she was still young, Amanda clearly wanted to prove she was more than just a teen movie star. Amanda's last movie role came in 1994. She played Julie Moore in Windrunner, A Spirited Journey, a drama about a high school girl whose father was in prison. The story took place in Utah, with beautiful scenes of desert and nature. Amanda's character was judged by the people around her, but found hope and healing through a connection with the mysterious white horse. It was her final film, released on June 1, 1994. After that, Amanda stepped away from Hollywood. She was only 23 years old. Amanda Peterson was once America's sweetheart. But behind that perfect smile was a storm she couldn't escape. Her first marriage, in the early 1990s, was supposed to be a fresh start. Instead, it turned into something darker. She had married a man named Joseph Robert Skutvic, thinking it would bring her stability. But Joseph wasn't the kind of man she thought he was. He was controlling. He told her he was protecting her from Hollywood. But really, he was cutting her off. He answered her agent's calls. He stopped her from going to auditions. He told her to quit acting and just stay home. She was only 22. At one point, Amanda told her family that he had even gotten physical during arguments, leaving bruises on her body. She covered them with makeup. The marriage ended around 1993, after just 3 years. He still tried to take half of the money she made from Can't Buy Me Love. That relationship shattered Amanda's trust. It changed how she saw love. She started fearing closeness, and that fear would follow her for the rest of her life. In early 1994, Amanda met a new man at a hospital in Colorado Springs. His name was David Hartley. He was a 28-year-old medical technician, kind and soft-spoken. Amanda wasn't looking for love, but it happened fast. Just 6 months later, he proposed during a camping trip in the mountains, giving her a $2,500 ring. They got married on May 15, 1994, inside a small church with 50 guests. Amanda wore a dress inspired by the movie that made her famous. At the reception, she played 1980s music and even screened some of her films. David had never seen them before. During their honeymoon in Aspen, strangers came up asking for autographs. That's when he realized just how famous Amanda used to be. On the marriage certificate, she listed herself as a retired actress. She was only 23. Amanda had her first child, a boy named Jonathan, on March 22, 1997. He weighed just over 7 pounds, and from the moment he was born, she poured everything into being a mother. She filmed hundreds of hours of home videos. She even turned down a $75,000 acting offer just to stay home with him. Her daughter Katie was born on September 8, 2000. Amanda had a hard pregnancy that ended in an emergency C-section. She gained 60 pounds, but she pushed through it. She volunteered at her kids' school, helped with drama club, and coached plays. She filmed every one of Jonathan's soccer games, all 47 of them between 2003 and 2007. She filled thousands of pages in scrapbooks and took over 10,000 photos. Teachers said she was too involved, but Amanda didn't care. Her kids were everything. In 2003, everything started falling apart. That year, Amanda was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. She didn't always take her medicine. Her moods began to swing wildly. She would stay up all night reorganizing closets. Between 2003 and 2005, she was hospitalized 4 times. Once, she even tried to end her life. Her husband said living with her became too hard. Her arrest record shows 5 incidents from 2000 to 2012. The worst came in September 2005, when Amanda was caught with drugs and spent 87 days in jail. She missed Katie's 5th birthday. During their separation, Amanda was seen on home security footage stealing prescription pills from David's supplies, but they never officially divorced. David said he stayed because of insurance and custody. Amanda's last arrest came in May 2012. It involved child abuse, though the charges were later dropped. Even with everything she was facing, Amanda stayed close to her children. Between 2005 and 2012, she didn't miss a single one of Jonathan's 89 soccer games. She threw birthday parties that cost thousands. Once, she rented out a movie theater just to screen Can't Buy Me Love for Katie's friends. She helped direct school plays like Annie, The Wizard of Oz, and Grease. She drove Jonathan to soccer 4 days a week, racking up more than 15,000 miles every year. She recorded more than 2,200 voice messages for her kids, filled with advice and love. Even while living on disability, she sent $500 a month into their college funds. She scheduled all her therapy around school pickups and never agreed to overnight hospital stays, just so she could tuck them in. Her final post on Facebook, on July 2, 2015, was a photo of Katie's art with the caption, "My daughter is my world." But Amanda's pain kept growing, and it started showing in public. In October 2000, she was pulled over for speeding in Greeley, Colorado. Police found marijuana and drug paraphernalia in her car. She was only 28, and it was her first arrest. At the time, the press didn't report much about it. But those close to Amanda said she was already using weed to quiet down trauma from her teenage years. Then, in 2003, she crashed into a parked car while drunk. Her blood alcohol was double the legal limit. That night changed everything. In rehab, Amanda finally opened up about being assaulted at age 15 by a man twice her age. She had hidden that secret for years, but after rehab, she didn't stay clean. She went back to drinking. Her pain was too deep. In 2005, she got into a bar fight. She had been drinking, and someone said something she didn't like. Amanda punched the woman, and the bar turned into chaos. Police had to break it up. She was arrested again and spent nearly 3 months in jail. When she came out, she had lost 25 pounds and looked like a different person. Her family said she acted paranoid and angry. She was scared, and the addiction was only getting worse. Then came 2010. Police responded to a fight between Amanda and her boyfriend. It was early afternoon, and she was already drunk. Her daughter was with her earlier that day, raising serious concerns. Amanda had been told not to drink while on bipolar and ADHD medication. But she did anyway. That mix turned her into someone else. She attacked her boyfriend. She even fought with the officers. That moment showed how deep her problems went. In 2012, everything came crashing down. On May 3rd, Amanda was arrested again, and this time Her mugshot went viral. It showed a face the world could barely recognize. She had a black eye, her cheeks were hollow, and her body looked fragile. She weighed less than 90 pounds. Police found heroin tools in her car. Amanda, who once lit up the screen, had turned to hard drugs. People online mocked her. Her mugshot became a meme. But what they didn't see was the years of pain, the untreated trauma, and the silence she carried. 3 years later, in 2015, she died from an accidental morphine overdose. She was only 43. That viral image became a cruel reminder of how far someone can fall when pain goes unseen. Amanda Peterson looked like she had it all. In 1986, she was only 15 years old when she played Cindy Mancini in the hit movie Can't Buy Me Love. The world saw a rising star with a bright smile and natural charm. But while Amanda was winning hearts on screen, something heartbreaking happened behind the scenes. That same year, she was sexually assaulted by a man who was 27. He was nearly twice her age. Amanda never told anyone at the time. She kept it to herself, buried in silence, because she felt ashamed. Her mother, Sylvia, later said Amanda was scared people would judge her, and she didn't want anyone to know. For 2 full years, Amanda carried that pain in secret. After the assault, Amanda's personality started to change. Her father, Dr. James Peterson, said something in her had dimmed. She became defensive and withdrawn. That bright sparkle everyone saw in her eyes wasn't there anymore. On film sets, she seemed tense and less trusting. People noticed the change, but they didn't know why. She didn't talk about what had happened. She was just a teenager, trying to keep going while hiding something that had broken her inside. It wasn't until 1988 that Amanda finally told her family the truth. It happened during an emotional breakdown. They were living together in Los Angeles when she opened up to her mother. But even then, she didn't want to report it. She was afraid that if the story came out, her career would be over. Back in the late 1980s, the film industry was not a place where young girls felt safe telling the truth about something like this. Amanda believed she would be blamed or blacklisted. Her sister later said, Amanda carried that secret like a heavy weight, and it must have been unbearable. By 1989, just 3 years after the assault, Amanda was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Her family believed the trauma caused it. The mood swings made it hard for her to work and connect with people. Auditions became more difficult. Relationships were harder to keep. Her emotions would swing so wildly that even simple things became overwhelming. But still, she never fully opened up about what had happened to her. She tried to carry on, but inside, she was hurting badly. In the 1990s, Amanda began using heroin. Later, she also used meth. Her mother confirmed that the drug use started because she was trying to block out the pain. Amanda didn't want to feel anything. The drugs were her way of coping, but they also took away her chances at healing. She went in and out of treatment, trying to quit. But the addiction had its claws deep in her. During those final years, Amanda wanted to tell her story. There were quiet talks about her writing a book. It was never finished. But 2 months after her death in 2015, her family told the world the truth she had carried for decades. She had been raped at 15, and it had shaped the rest of her life. Even her sister didn't know until after she passed away. That truth explained so much: why she struggled, why she fell, and why she never felt safe again. Amanda died on July 5, 2015. She was 43 years old and living alone in an apartment in Greeley, Colorado. At first, people thought maybe it was drugs again, but the truth was more complicated. Amanda had been prescribed medication for heart and lung issues after a recent hysterectomy. One of those medications, gabapentin, was found in her system at 6 times the safe level. But that wasn't what killed her. The real danger came from morphine, a drug she wasn't even prescribed. She had gotten it from a friend, trying to ease some pain, but it ended up being too much for her body to handle. Amanda also had sleep apnea, a condition where you stop breathing in your sleep. That made taking morphine even more dangerous. The morphine slowed her breathing, and her body just couldn't recover. When the toxicology report came out, it showed Amanda had also taken marijuana and some other prescriptions, but all of those were at safe levels. The overdose wasn't planned. It was a mistake. Amanda wasn't trying to die. She was just trying to stop hurting. But she didn't know how dangerous that mix of medications was for someone with her health issues. The coroner said she had been trying to self-medicate, and that one decision took her life. Amanda Peterson had once lit up the screen with her presence. She had fans all over the world. But behind that smile was a girl who had suffered in silence, who had tried to survive in a world that never made space for her pain. Her death wasn't just a tragedy. It was the final chapter of a story that had started with trauma and never found peace. She was only 43, and she never got the chance to be fully heard. But now, the truth is finally known, and maybe, in some way, that truth can help others speak out, heal, and not feel alone.